everybody, and welcome to a very special podcast this morning. I've got my friend Mike here. Morning, Mike.
Morning, Sarah.
Could you give us a nice Zoom wave? It's compulsory, you know.
There we go. There we go. In all my Sunday morning glory.
Absolutely, live on a Sunday morning. What more could you possibly want?
Exactly.
I'm sure some people looking at this from St Wolstan's will be thinking, who's that? So just to put you on the spot, who are you? Tell us a bit about yourself.
That would be a very valid question. I'm Mike Stafford. I'm for my sins, full-time energy consultant, but part-time blogger, reviewer, general social media dog's body. I run a blog, which we'll come on to shortly, called Faithful Pundit, which is a sort of a place where I capture all of my thoughts around books that I really enjoy or stuff that's going on in the local community that I think is great, specifically around sort of hospitality businesses, although obviously they need all the support they can get at the moment. And some of my political leanings, and generally sort of me, certainly over the last year, I've started blogging as a sort of a witness to history. I think so much of my own grandmother, when she's around at family gatherings, we all end up sort of asking her for information about what it was like during the war. So I'm conscious that in 70 years' time, perhaps our pandemic experiences may be worthy of scrutiny by future generations.
Right. And are you a local boy?
Funny story. No, I was born in Sheffield and had a sort of semi-nomadic youth up until moving to Worcester in 2006, because it was sort of equidistant between my parents, who were in Lincoln, and my eldest son, who lived in South Wales. And I have known and loved Worcester. I consider myself an adoptive son of the town now. The reason I chose to move here was because I enjoyed a drink one afternoon in the Diglis on the banks of the Severn, watching the river go by, and thought, yeah,
those are the days.
Place in my life. Yeah, exactly. So since then, I've just grown to love it more and more, which is kind of where the name for the website came from in the end, just referencing the faithful city.
Beautiful. Beautiful. And you mentioned a son. Do you have other family?
I do indeed, yes. I have my eldest, who's 15. My daughter, she turns 10 tomorrow, actually.
Oh, happy birthday.
Yeah, my youngest, a little boy who is 7, both of whom, the youngest two, were christened in St Wolstan's, as it happens.
Yay! Excellent, excellent. And I know when we were chatting earlier, you were telling me that your younger ones were present at the assembly in the school where I accidentally said a swear word.
They were indeed, yes. They're not fans of swearing per se, and they have been known to tell me to knock it on the head. But I think even at their tender age, they understand the comedy value in someone, a member of the clergy, making that type of spoonerism. So yeah,
absolutely,
they enjoyed that.
I'll put a link to the tweet about it in the comments for this video. That's fantastic. So, Faithful Pundit, what kinds of things have you been writing about?
Yep, I started off, and this may or may not be interesting for people who are going through something this year. In 2019, I had my own sort of mental health wobble and had what I would term as a psychological collapse, but might have been termed as a nervous breakdown in previous years. So when I was sort of picking up the wreckage of what had been, I looked at, right, well, what do I actually enjoy doing in life? Rather than doing the sort of corporate treadmill, what are the things that I actually enjoy? And what I enjoy is reading books, frequenting businesses in Worcester, and I forget what the third thing was. Oh yeah, just TV, just Netflix and chill, as it may be called. So I started off writing about those things, and I thought, well, there are so many people out in the world at the moment who are making a name for themselves, literally just talking about their passions all day, that why don't I get a piece of that and trying to chase the, the thing about, what is it? The thing about the rat race is, even if you win, you're still a rat. And yes, I came to that and I was like, why don't I just spend some time being good at doing what I enjoy and see what comes off the back of it? And then good stuff that came off the back of talking about books and TV and businesses in Worcester was eventually I end up having discussions with fine people like yourself, Sarah. So,
there's a really important idea of Sabbath in there. We Sabbath is the idea that we can stop and do the things which nourish us, not just be busy with the things which deplete us.
Absolutely.
Excellent.
And as a kind of a, in my youth for my sins, I was a militant atheist, I suppose. But so much of that was wrapped up in the desire to be right and, you know, be that guy rather than actually appreciating things. And while I'm not, I still don't hold fast to the sort of core spiritual principles of Christianity or the historical stuff. So much that I see in Christianity these days is, well, that's a good idea. You know, so many of the teachings of Christ are like, yeah, that's, I subscribe to that, you know.
I think that would be a brilliant poster for us. That's a good idea.
Yeah, I will happily join in, you know. It's
Fantastic. Now, you contacted me recently because you wanted to promote something that you're very passionate about. And
yes.
I think I've got this right. It's Worcester Goes Postal.
Precisely so, yes. And there may be people in there who listen to the dichotomy and think that going postal is going on a sort of a rampage like a US postal worker. That's not the intention. It's very specifically around postal voting. Certainly something that we saw in America last year is it becomes much more problematic in a pandemic situation to cast your franchise. So the postal voting is, it makes things easier. You can do it earlier, but you can participate in the democratic process in a safe way if you register for a postal vote during the pandemic. And as people who are turned off by politics may not be interested in talking about who they want to vote for, but certainly I think it's important. It's one of the sort of fundamental principles of a healthy society that people feel like they have a say and that it is listened to. And that all starts at the ballot box. So I started a fun campaign, nothing more than take a selfie in front of a post box and nominate some friends to do the same and remind them that there are elections coming in May and that they should sign up for a postal vote. So
yes,
that's where it started.
So the May elections have been confirmed that they, unless alien invasion or dinosaurs being resurrected comes upon us as the next little problem to navigate. It has been confirmed that the local elections will be going ahead, and actually St Albans is a local polling station. And we're just in negotiations as to how to make this a COVID secure site for that still to go ahead. I don't know very much about postal voting. Is it one of those very complicated things to set up?
No, it's relatively quick and painless.
I'm just checking out how easy and straightforward this really is. I've gone to Google and I'm typing in postal vote Worcester. I'm expecting quite a few results to come up and I'm wondering how confusing it might be. No, it's just the second one down, Elections Worcester City Council. It's taken me straight to the Worcester City Council page and there's lots of different information, including checking that I'm on the electoral register. But of course what I'm really interested in is the section, what is a postal vote? And right at the very bottom of that there's a blue link that takes me to the application form. And I can see the phone number here is 01905 722 530. 722 530.
Indeed. Well, one of the things we've been reflecting on in the last few weeks at St Albans is that prayer comes in lots of different forms. And I'm going to make the suggestion that one way to pray for your local community is to be somebody who is definitely signed up on the electoral roll. And if you have any doubts at all about how safe life is during this pandemic, then actually getting sorted out for a postal vote would be another way of saying, I'm praying for this community. I'm wanting the very best. Well, that's great. We will keep you posted and let you posted. Hey,
nice. Let's see what you did there.
We will keep you posted and let you know what happens in terms of people being able to respond to this this conversation. I think it's a brilliant initiative, and we love that you got in touch. And when life is a bit calmer and more sensible, come and visit in person. And
Will do.
Oh, fantastic to speak with you today. You now need to give me the obligatory Zoom wave.
Lovely. It has been my very genuine pleasure to speak to you this morning, Sarah. I hope everyone's well at your end.